Fellow Nigerians, the need to come together to chart the course of our great nation has never been more needed than now. That's why we have created a group to do all that we can to support the candidacy and emergence of Professor Yemi Osinbajo as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2023.
Ours is not just another support group, but one that strongly vouches for the personage, intellectual capacity, and prospect embedded in Nigeria's most celebrated vice president in history. And as intellectuals from different industries, we are solidly putting our resources to help achieve this vision.
Now that you know about us, do you share in our ideology and our ambition? Do you want to share strategic thoughts on how to move our nation forward? Start by joining us. It is free. Click the sign up button below. This is a call to serve.
We are the Osinbajo Think Tank.
With very few days to the APC's primaries on the 29th and 30th, the March week, the presidential primary will be taking place. Being joined by Mr. Victor Ojeakhena, who is my colleague on tonight. We'll be taking a look at on the trajectory of the Vice President. And just recently, the Vice President is trying to continue his consultation across the region and that in preparation of the primary. So I can see you all smiling there, like indeed you feel the Vice President on board already.
Hi Lilian, it's good to be here tonight. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Indeed, it's a very good evening. So let's take a look at why do you think Nigerians are supporting the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, ahead of the 2022 elections?
So, why not the Vice President, if I might ask? Right. If you ask me, when you look at everybody that is contesting currently, those who have put themselves out for to run for the office of the president, you see that we have more jokers than people that are really serious. From the APC side, we have quite a number of people who bought form, but they never went around to campaign. They never went around to meet the delegates. Only about 3 or 4 of the contestants have gone around to where the delegates are, right? And the vice president, as of today, has visited almost, if not all the states in Nigeria, has visited all the states, telling them his vision, telling them why he's running for the office of the president, and also when you look at his person, he's sound, intellectually sound. His experience is himself and President Muhammad Buhari has been running the affairs of the country in the last 7 years. He understands the terrain. He understands the policies and programs that they've set. And one thing a lot of people also need to understand is that when you set in nation development, things don't just you don't start a project and you expect to begin to see the dividend almost immediately. Sometimes it takes time, right? So we need we need the vice president to come in and continue from where this current administration stopped, because he already understands the projects and the programs that they have. So we don't want a situation where you bring in somebody else who will now take another 6 to 7 months to understand the entire terrain, understand the various projects that has been done by the previous administration. If a person of President's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo becomes the president, it's like almost immediately things start to roll. Almost immediately, the government get to work and start to. Plus, he's very qualified. He's very, very qualified, and he's been in government both from as Attorney General of Lagos all the way to becoming vice president. So he's super qualified. So yeah, that's why I'm pushing and supporting this candidacy.
Okay, thank you. Let's remind the people that you can join the conversation using hashtag #ThinkOshibajo on Twitter. First, on YouTube, send your questions and your contributions. And first, we're happy to take your observations. You said he's super qualified. Let's take a look at coming from the young people's perspective. You're a young man, Victor, and the vice president will often say that his heart and his impulse beats for young people, the common people. So let's see what will be the impact of the vice presidency on Nigeria's youth. You know, what will it do, you know, for the youth, the younger generation of Nigeria?
Okay, this is a very interesting question, right? If you look at the vice president antecedents over the last 7 years, you discover that on a general scale, it's somebody that is very drawn to the young people, right? You see them in on a couple of occasions. He's been to Yaba, where you have we call it the Silicon Valley of Nigeria. It's been to Yaba. He knows some of the tech entrepreneurs in Yaba. He was at some point he organized demo day. So his presidency, I believe, we go a long way. We go a long way to actually help a lot of young people actualize their dreams and ambition. Another thing you also need, it was as a result of his conversation and sitting down with a lot of young people that through him were able to there was some policy change with respect to how Nigerians can register businesses within 24 hours. It was very key to that policy that was with respect to CAC and some other friendly policy that has actually helped a lot of young and entrepreneurs in Nigeria to grow their business and of course venture. Uh, Sometimes ago, there was a report I saw about I don't know if it was Microsoft or Google mentioning that they came into Nigeria because they interacted with the person of the vice president. So his presidency will go a long way. Strongly believe that his presidency will go a long way to not only uh, for young people who are Nigerians are very very enterprising, right? Nigerians are enterprising. We 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 just need a system to work so that at the end of the day we are able to do what it is that we want to do. Get the government out of our way and let us do it with the right policies and right policy, with the right policy put in place, a lot of us don't even need much. We don't need fund from the government, right? We just need things to work. Let there be constant power. And this, the vice president has been somebody that has really, when you anywhere you go, you see him relate with young people, right? He's somebody that I know a lot of young people are routing for and are in support of. Yeah.
Okay, the primary is in few days, and we do not know if it's going to be direct or indirect primary, either ways, the pendulum swing. But we know that we hear that some supporters of the vice president are telling delegates to vote for courage, vote for competence, vote for character. Do you agree with this thought?
Of course. So, uh, yes, I will also join I'll join all of those calling for the delegates to vote for character. Let's vote for competence. Nigeria is at the stage where we need uh, we need somebody who already understand the terrain, right? We don't want a situation by a new person will come and get to understand the policies that this current administration has set in place, right? If you follow Nigerian policies very well, you will observe that when this current administration came into power in 2015, they did not immediately start their own projects. What they did was to understand some of the projects, that the previous administration before them has started. Look at the ones that can be completed and pursue the ones that need to be reviewed. They did some reviews about it and eventually kickstarts new projects as well. So similarly, the vice president has been in office for the past 7 years, so they understand some of the projects they've started. He can run with it almost immediately. But if a new if a new person comes in today, they will first need to understand the entire terrain. They will first need to understand what project has been started, where are we with the project, what are we doing, and these are some of the things that slow us down. Nigeria, every 4 years we need to go running. Every 4 years is election year in Nigeria, and usually the first year for a new candidate, they usually take time to understand the entire terrain, the entire system. So the first year is more like a year of understanding the entire terrain. The second year, they get to do some work. The third year is a year proud to another election year, and you discover that nothing much is really done because it's all about the electionary and who becomes what, right? So we're appealing. I'm also joining the voice of everyone, appealing to the delegates. Let's put Nigeria first. It is not about our individual interest. It is not about what is in it for me. We should all put Nigeria first. Let's think of the young child who is in Okitipupa, to the young Amajiri who is in the north, to the young guy who who couldn't send his or herself to school, to the parents struggling to feed their family. Let's put Nigeria first. And I hope that, I pray that the delegates will, at the end of the day, pick somebody who is competent, who has been part of the system, understand the terrain, understand the project that they've started over the last 7 years, and will continue from where the current government stopped. And so that's my appeal to the delegates.
Thank you, Victor. Let's take a listen at one of the campaign videos of the Vice President, one of the consultations. And when we come back, don't forget you're still watching Think Osinbajo show. Festival to you via the Osinbajo Think. Then we'll be right back after the time out.
This country must be united. Everybody must be given a chance. Our country is great because we have people of every faith, people of every ethnic group, and we must work together to make this country truly great.
INEC hereby informs the public that only Nigerians 18 years and above who have never registered to vote should register during this last phase of the ongoing continuous voter registration ending on Thursday, 30th June 2022. Those who want to transfer their voting location or replace lost or damaged voters' cards or correct their information such as spelling of names, dates of birth, etc. should not register afresh but indicate as such for action by INEC. This is to prevent double registration, as the names of persons who registered from 2011 are still valid in the Register of Voters. Previously registered voters up till December 2021 can collect their PVCs at the registration centers. Please note that online pre-registration will be suspended on Monday, 30th May 2022. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. INEC, making your votes count, consolidating our democracy.
Fellow Nigerians, the need to come together to chart the course of our great nation has never been more needed than now. That's why we have created a group to do all that we can to support the candidacy and emergence of Professor Yemi Osinbajo as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2023.
Ours is not just another support group, but one that strongly vouches for the personage, intellectual capacity, and prospect embedded in Nigeria's most celebrated vice president in history. And as intellectuals from different industries, we are solidly putting our resources to help achieve this vision.
Now that you know about us, do you share in our ideology and our ambition? Do you want to share strategic thoughts on how to move our nation forward? Start by joining us. It is free. Click the sign up button below. This is a call to serve.
We are the Osinbajo Think Tank.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the Think Osinbajo show brought to you by the Osinbajo Think Tank. We have been talking to Mr. Victor Ojeakhena, who is a graceful colleague of mine. So, Victor, let's take a look at the message of the Vice President. He said something. He said the country needs to be united. We need to work together. We need to make the country really great. These were some of the words contained in that very short video in one of his trips to the northern state. How do you think this can be achieved? This strong message by the Vice President.
Okay. So, how do you? The first question we need to ask ourselves is, how did we get here? How did we even get here? Right. My dad was in the force, right? So I had the opportunity at an early age to move around the country. And I always look forward to some of those trips with him back then. But there are a couple of times I planned that, okay, maybe once in a while I'll just go on a trip around the country with my family. But today I can't do that, right? I can't do that because I'm afraid of maybe insecurity and some other things, right? We have become so divided, and this is as a result of, to a very large extent, it's leadership failure at all level of the country, right? So we need somebody who can actually unite both the South and the North, bring everybody together. The country needs to be united. The man in Lagos needs the guy in Kaduna. The South needs the North. The North needs the South. Of course, there's the conversation about unity of Nigeria is not discussable. It's not. We can have conversation on how we coexist, but the truth of the matter is that we need to be united. There's need for unity. There's need for peace. There's need, because when there's peace, there's unity. You can dialogue better, right? You can have conversation about what are the common things and when you look at it really, what are the common things that have actually brought us to where we are today? Majorly unemployment. The guy in the western part of Nigeria is as affected as somebody who is in Sokoto, right? Because unemployment does not look at your face. Poverty does not look at if you are from the south or if you are from the west, right? So if you look at across the entire country, it's the same situation across board, right? So we need to be united. We need to have a strong voice. We need to have one voice, and we need to be able to get our government to listen to us at the same time. So we need a listening government, one who can feel the pain of the people. And I can say this for a fact, that the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is the person who is been mention any state in Nigeria that he has not been to. Aside from the fact that, okay, doing campaign and all of that, it's been to practically every nook and cranny of the country, right? So we understand the challenges that every Nigerians on the streets faces. You understand the challenges that we are going through. So is the right person, is the right candidate that we need at this time for the
So
president to
let
become
me
the
ask you,
president of the country.
have you thought of a presidency without a vice president? Have you thought of the 2023 presidency without a vice president? What do you think the outcome
Okay.
would look like?
Okay. The truth of the matter is, I try not to think of that. The reason I each time the thought of that crossed my mind, I just push it aside, is because I am very positive that the delegates will vote the vice president as the presidential candidate of the APC, and he will go ahead to emerge as the president of the country. Because look at it, it's been everywhere. It's been to every state. It's been to every corner of the country, talking to the delegates, listening to them, telling them why they need to vote him in as the candidates of the All Progressive Congress. And I also learned his last visit, which is Lagos, will be tomorrow. So he's in Lagos tomorrow, also still talking to delegates, and you can also hear what some of the governors have said about him, right? What some of the
Okay,
governors,
I
what
was
some
going to
of the
bring you that
delegates have
to
said about him.
let's take a look at what the governor of Borno State and Kaduna State, few emirs here and there giving commendation of how the fact that he's a loyalist and the fact that he has the common interest of Nigerians in this different, separate regions at heart. And so, what do you have to say concerning that? And the question I was going to ask you was, how would Nigeria, what's the picture of Nigeria without him? Do you have a picture of what you see Nigeria looking like? Exactly. So, I don't know. How are you going to
Lilian,
match the questions together?
Lilian, I'm a man of faith, right? I try not to have such picture. The picture I have, the only picture I have in my head is the picture of him as the president of Nigeria. No other picture. Because is the best candidate, is the right candidate for this time. So there's no need for having several pictures. I don't have any other picture, right? So that's the only picture I have. Him as the president of the country.
Thank you. Okay, quickly, let's take a look at what's your advice for Nigerians? Eventually, the primaries will come and it will go, right? What about Nigerians who love the vice president? But you know what? I'm yet to not have a PVC. So what advice do you have for Nigerians? A lot of persons, you have pseudo online votes going on saying how much that they support the vice president, but yet, of course, they still have that barricade. They're yet to pick up a PVC. So what advice do you have for Nigerians ahead of the elections?
Okay. So one of the things that I believe strongly that some of the supporters of Osinbajo have been doing is to educate um, electorate on the need to go get your PVC. It is very, very important. It's a matter of life and death, right? We all need to get our PVC. We need to vote in the right people from the press, not just the presidency alone, even for the House of Assembly. We need to put in the right people who will help us make the kind of policy that will move us forward. We all need to get our PVC. Registration is still on till on the 30th of this month. Everybody can still go register, then pick up, do your biometrics between 30th and June 30th as well. You have another 1 month to do your biometrics. Let's all go out there, register to vote, and show up on the day of election to cast your vote. But more importantly, at this point, the delegates will be converging in Abuja in the next couple of days. Once again, I'm pleading with the delegates, let them do the right thing. Let's vote the right candidates. We shouldn't make this personal. It's not about you. It's not about what's in it for me. It's about Nigeria as a whole. We are at the point where we cannot make the mistake of picking the wrong candidates to represent us come 2023.
Thank
We
you.
cannot make
Thank you,
that
Mr.
mistake at this point.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you,
Victor
Lilian.
Ojeakhena, an amazing colleague of mine. Of course, he says, delegates go out there and make sure that you be candid with your vote, what is your conscience, and of course, Nigeria will be heading to sustainability and peace. Thank you so much. The show has been the Think Osinbajo show brought to you by the Osinbajo Think Tank. See you again next time on the show. Have a beautiful evening.
INEC hereby informs the public that only Nigerians 18 years and above who have never registered to vote should register during this last phase of the ongoing continuous voter registration ending on Thursday, 30th June 2022. Those who want to transfer their voting location or replace lost or damaged voters' cards or correct their information such as spelling of names, dates of birth, etc. should not register afresh but indicate as such for action by INEC. This is to prevent double registration, as the names of persons who registered from 2011 are still valid in the Register of Voters. Previously registered voters up till December 2021 can collect their PVCs at the registration centers. Please note that online pre-registration will be suspended on Monday, 30th May 2022. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. INEC, making your votes count, consolidating our democracy.
Fellow Nigerians, the need to come together to chart the course of our great nation has never been more needed than now. That's why we have created a group to do all that we can to support the candidacy and emergence of Professor Yemi Osinbajo as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2023.
Ours is not just another support group, but one that strongly vouches for the personage, intellectual capacity, and prospect embedded in Nigeria's most celebrated vice president in history. And as intellectuals from different industries, we are solidly putting our resources to help achieve this vision.
Now that you know about us, do you share in our ideology and our ambition? Do you want to share strategic thoughts on how to move our nation forward? Start by joining us. It is free. Click the sign up button below. This is a call to serve.
We are the Osinbajo Think Tank.